What is going on, you beautiful humans? I wanted to actually share with you an accessory that I've been incorporating into my workflow to see if it might be something that could provide some value to you with your particular iPad Pro setup. Because when a brand actually reaches out to me to send me something to test, I make it clear that it will be tested and there's no guarantee that it'll actually make the cut. But the interesting thing is I had been actively looking for this very solution, so it actually seemed like the right time to see what this thing could really do. So today we're actually going to be leveling up with this Pitaka MagEZ stand that you'll get that'll get that iPad Pro closer or at eye level, depending on, of course, your height and your particular setup. So whether you're trying to actually get things done or blow off a little bit of steam, this is actually what we're working with. Now, this can definitely be a standalone piece by itself, but would also be a great complement to a Magic Keyboard, which I actually use my Magic Keyboard case all the time, like every day, which I do realize that these two combined are quite an investment. And so I really want to help you decide whether this would be worth your hard-earned dollar and whether this is something that you would actually want to even use. And as I often say, don't force the tech into your workflow, get the tech that already fits or will provide a solution to help you move forward. Now, with the premium aramid fiber, it definitely has quite the look. And if you're interested in this type of finish, then this could certainly be appealing for some of you, that if you'd like a little bit of that contrast in your setup that it could provide, because I do a lot of the white and black in my background or really on my desk setup. But it may be also something that if you're looking for, that it just kind of blends in what's already on your desk. So the stand does actually have a magnetic mount, and it does come with a metal plate with adhesive on the back to either place it directly onto your tablet or inside of a very thin case, depending on that case. And it does come with a measurement tool to help you guide for that placement so that you can actually get it centered or however you want to get it set up. And of course, speaking of thin cases, this is actually where the MagEZ case comes in as a separate solution. We'll talk about that in a sec. And it's extremely lightweight and offers some protection, where the Magic Keyboard offers very little in the way of protecting the edges on its own. Although there is one exposed edge along the bottom around the keyboard side, and this really allows for the iPad Pro to be closed without it causing any resistance or really presenting any issues with it being fully closed in that Magic Keyboard case. Now, the MagEZ case does have all of the cutouts for the iPad Pro on my 12.9-inch setup, and I really did appreciate having that exposed, because sometimes you will get those cases that just they cover the ports, or they don't fully expose the speaker grills. And so from my testing, all of them are exposed. And of course, as much as I think that this case adds to the protection of the iPad Pro, this is not something that shrouds the device in a cocoon of Kevlar. It does add some peace of mind if you're carrying this thing around or transferring it from the Magic Keyboard case to the stand. And of course, the case does allow for charging while on the Magic Keyboard, because the pins do line up that are on the back of the case. In my testing, from about 10% to 100%, I was still getting around that 3-hour time frame to complete. So there's really no difference there with or without the case on. So if the iPad is directly on the Magic Keyboard case, or it has this MagEZ slim case on there, really no difference. Now, according to Pitaka, this stand actually can accommodate tablets weighing up to 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram. And I know Pitaka can't necessarily cater to all tablets, because this MagEZ case that is on this iPad Pro, and it will fit all iPad Pros and the 2020 iPad Air. However, I would actually like to see a solution to address the stand and the case being sold separately, or at least offering a great bundle price, because I do think that this combo makes it an even better solution. So I would like to actually see those together somehow instead of separate. Now, the stand does tilt as well as rotate from landscape to portrait mode, which this is actually definitely a bonus, since Apple likes to keep that front-facing camera near the speaker grills and over to the left, which makes it a lot harder, which I understand, of course, that the built-in mics on the iPad are over there, along with all of that hardware that it's integrated with. But, you know, Apple might want to actually think about this in future iterations and being able to use it properly in landscape mode. But Pitaka, thank you so much for actually helping us with this solution here by being able to just rotate it in a portrait mode. Now, of course, one option I really would love to see, however, is that I understand that this is just another piece of machining to incorporate and really to build in another point of failure. So I understand, but I would actually love to be able to raise and lower the stand based on where I'm actually sitting and kind of my setup. And I never felt like the iPad was ever going to be toppling over when I'm tilting it or rotating it or anything like that. But raising it up and down just another 2 inches, give or take, would actually be pretty helpful. Now, this accessory would pair up well with a workflow where if you don't necessarily have the Magic Keyboard, but it's somewhere else and you kind of want to have it set up on the stand, and using a keyboard and mouse connected to actually get a little bit of work done. And of course, thankfully, if you like the Apple Pencil as much as I do, then the case doesn't really impede that magnetic access when it comes to putting the pencil back on to the iPad itself. But when it's actually time to get to some gaming, this is where I really appreciate having more options with iPadOS and really games being supported with external controllers, because I've personally struggled with having the iPad set up in a way where I'm often looking down while playing, and depending on what you may be playing, for me, this is actually just like pulling on my neck and shoulders, which is really a big nope. I mean, if that's sustained for hours, I mean, that can certainly cause some issues. But one thing I actually did want to mention here is that the stand does come with a wireless charging option at the base. And thankfully, this is plugged in via a USB-A to Type-C connection under the base. And it is rated up to 15 watts. And in my testing, I was actually getting around 5.5 to 6 watts with the iPhone 12 mini. And once it completely charged, it wasn't drawing any power. But if you do want the phone to remain on the charger and you're doing, let's say, like some streaming for whatever, in my testing, it was actually drawing about 2 watts while streaming a video, just to kind of maintain that level of charge. But as far as recommending this piece of hardware, or really this accessory, what I can say here is that I will continue to incorporate this into my current workflow, because I was already looking for this anyway. I was really looking for a similar solution. And with the MagEZ Slim case, it does make it even more enticing, because I also use the Magic Keyboard, and this combo does make that a quicker transition. Although, as I said before, I really would actually like to see some more aggressive pricing on a bundle, as this really just makes it that much more of a combo that really works. So as far as the cost to value making sense, and it really does come down to as to whether this could be a daily use for you, as it is for me, is this actually something that would actually make the value more appreciated on your end? I'd really love to know what your thoughts are, and if this is something that you've been looking for, or do you think that this is something that you could incorporate? I do value your input. So you go out there and rock those faces, do those things that matter, and I'll catch you right back here on the next one.